Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today was supposed to be my Christmas shop update video, but I've had to delay it just a few days. It's going to be coming on Wednesday at 4 p.m. UK time, just because I've had a few delays with shipping and that sort of stuff. Our country's gone into lockdown, there's a lot going on. My parcel for the last remaining thing I need for the shop update is coming on Tuesday, so with all being well, it should be on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Even if that item doesn't arrive, it's just going to go ahead. I just cannot wait any longer. I am going to be sharing an exclusive coupon code on the shop update video coming on Wednesday as a sorry for the delay. I do really feel guilty about it, but there's just nothing else I can do. Everything is raring to go. My shop is pretty much all there. All the photos have been taken. I've been working my butt off for this one. I've got loads of Christmas characters coming. If you like gingerbread, then this is definitely the one for you. I've got a few other little bits in there. I've been giving a few sneak peeks on my studio vlogs, but yeah. Anyway, today's video is actually a DIY. This is something I have made for my shop update, and they are just some plushes. I really wanted to get some plushes in on this shop update because I've had loads of requests for them, and it's something I set out to do when I first made my Etsy shop anyway. So I have made some cute little chunky toast plushies. I have made 3 in total. They're all really sweet and chunky little toasts. I love them. One has the avocado one has a little egg, and then one has some melted butter as well, and they're just made from like wool felt, the like little additions on. I have filmed the whole process of me making this avocado toast one, so that is going to be this video for today, showing you my whole process on making it and everything like that. If you want to recreate it, you obviously can. But yeah, these are the 3 plushes I'm going to have on my shop update. They're going to be inside of like card boxes, and it's all going to be at a reduced price. So yeah, there's only going to be 3 boxes available. Each one is going to have a different plush in it, so it's going to be something a little bit different on there. I love them. They have these little ball chains on with just a normal keychain, like key ring on it, so then you can just use the ball chain or you can use the key ring, just whatever. I just like that option. That's something that I really like when I have plushes. So yeah, I'm just gonna get straight on into the DIY tutorial on how I made the avocado on toast plush. So I actually have 3 hours worth of footage here making this plush, so you'll have to excuse the fact that I've had to fast forward it because I'm sure nobody would want a 3-hour long video on how to make an avocado plush, and I can get the same information speeding it up. So the first thing that I did was took a Sharpie pen and some cardboard just left over from an Amazon package, and I just drew out myself a template. I just drew it in a nice chunky toast shape. It took me a few little tries to get there, but once I was happy with the shape, I then just transferred that onto the back of a dark brown plush by the brand Shannon fabrics, and I just drew around that basically with a Sharpie pen again, leaving enough room for around about a centimetre seam allowance around the whole piece. I then cut the exact same piece out on the Shannon fabrics plush fabric again, just right sides together so that they would end up being the exact same shape when they were like facing each other. What I then did was took one of those pieces and rolled it along the edge of the fabric, so that I was able to cut a strip of fabric like the same length as like the whole diameter of the original shape plus an inch or 2. I then drew around that template onto the beige coloured fabric that I have, and then I cut this out actually on the line so that it was around about a centimetre smaller than the other piece. So I attached the lighter beige piece onto the darker brown using my sewing machine. You can zigzag around this, you can also fold in the edges. What I did though was went around each piece around about 5 or 6 times with my sewing machine, making sure to stitch inwards each time. The reason that I do this is because I don't really like the look of like overlaid stitching, like the zigzag stitching, anything like that on my pieces, so I decided to just sew them with a straight stitch around about 5 or 6 times over. Once I was happy with the way that they were appliqued on, I then moved to make the whole shape 3D. So taking that strip that I made like previously and cut, I then started hand stitching that so that the right sides were together and like the raw edges of both the flat toast shape piece and the rectangle were facing each other. Does that make sense? Like the edge of the strip there is lined up with the edge of the toast, and I'm just hand stitching that together because it's a lot easier to manipulate the fabrics when you're hand stitching. So I don't just hand stitch it, I do go over it with a sewing machine, but I just like this technique rather than pinning it, because I find that pins can ruin your sewing machine. It also takes up quite a bit of time, like putting the pins in, taking them out. So I actually just like hand stitch this really loosely, tacking the two fabrics together so that I'm able to go over with a sewing machine. So once I had this all tacked out, I was happy with the way that it worked. I just went back over to my sewing machine and stitched all the way around that until it was fully secure. Once it was then time to add the eyes. So the eyes that I always use are toy safety eyes. Sometimes I stick these on, but for chunkier plushes like this one today, I'm actually just going to be using them as they're supposed to be used. So to cut a hole in the right place, I end up using a needle just to poke that through, just to work out where it's going to be. I then put a little dot on the inside and then cut a hole and pop the toy safety eye through and use the little kind of washer to secure that into place. Then do the same thing over, just lining those two eyes up, cutting the hole, pushing the toy safety eye through. If you haven't cut through both layers of fabric, you may need to go in like I am right here, just to make sure that that kind of back piece is coming all the way through, and then you want to attach your washer. I like to use pliers to make sure mine are really secure on there. So once you have the eyes, everything like that that's a bit fiddly and you want to do before, you know, it's all stitched up, you'll then want to stitch your other side of the toast piece with the like raw side of the rectangle. That definitely makes no sense, but you want to make it into one big 3D shape, putting the other side onto the place. As you can see here, this is how I stitch it together. I just really take my time moving that fabric out of the way, making sure only to go through the kind of side that I'm meant to be sewing, just really moving that fabric out of the way and stitching around nice and slowly. So once the whole shape is then sewn, what I like to do is remove any of the excess fabric. I use pinking shears to do this so that I'm able to bend the fabric and manipulate it without having to put in any extra like relief kind of cuts. I just find pinking shears really good in this way. I then turn the shape inside out by cutting a hole through the stitching that I did with my sewing machine, and then I will have a good, you know, like kind of entrance to put in my toy stuffing. So I use toy stuffing to shape and fill my plushes. You can use old pillows, old toys, anything that you have to repurpose, but I just like to use a brand new toy stuffing which I get from Hobbycraft, because obviously I'm going to be selling these pieces, so these are of the highest quality and using the brand new product as you would expect. Once I have the shape all fluffed up and filled, I then just go back in with a needle and thread and just hand stitch that opening close using a ladder stitch so you can't see it from the outside. As I'm making this DIY, like the avocado slice one, I'm just going to show you how I made those. So I took some wool felt. You can use any felt you want to, but I like to use wool felt because it just feels like such nice quality and I like the fact it's made from an actual product. You'll then want to just cut these into avocado like slices, always like little telephones, and then you'll just want to add some shading around the outside to look kind of like that shading you get on avocado slices. So to do this, I'm using some chalk pastels. I just mixed up a few colours until I got the shade I wanted, and then I just took a small kind of this is either a makeup brush or a paintbrush, and I've just dotted those with the chalk pastel to shade them. Look at that, looks so cute. To attach these, I actually used Fabri-Tac fabric glue. This is a premium bonding permanent fabric glue. It's so good. I use this in my DIY squishies like forever now, but I really love this, and the reason being, instead of just sewing them on, is because I wanted to make them look like they were on top of the actual piece. I also made an egg version and I also made a butter version, but yeah, I just did that in the same way using wool felt and gluing those pieces on. For the mouths, I actually hand stitched these just by going back and forth with some black thread. I made different faces on all three of my plushes, but I did these kind of off screen because I was just concentrating and watching a movie at the time. I also attached a ball chain and a keyring to the top, as you can see here, and once that was all done, my plushes were then complete. So that is the end of today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Do remember my shop update is coming on Wednesday at 4 PM UK time on my Etsy shop. It's just chelseydIY.etsy.com. Simply as that. I will leave all of the links down in the description. These are going to be in the carb boxes. There's obviously going to be 3 boxes, but I'll share more details on that on Wednesday's video, and there's going to be an exclusive coupon code in that video as well, so be sure to check back then. I will be posting the video at 4 p.m. UK time as well, so yeah, it's all going to be going ahead then. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed seeing how I made these toast blushes. So much effort went into these. They probably took me about 2 hours to make each one, but yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon for that shop update video on Wednesday. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you then. Bye.